Morning, good morning, good morning. Hello, my name is Ace. I'm a hobbyist. I like to stream my art, and that's what we're going to be doing today. I'm working on a web comic. I'm developing it. Wrote it for about 3 years. I'm currently editing it. I've been editing it for a while now, and we have been we started doing meshes for the characters in order of appearance. Working on the first one. I am done with the topology now. So we're going to be moving on to clothing. Only problem is my clothing is very basic. It's not even a little bit basic. It's very basic. So I'm gonna give myself some just a little bit more time to to sharpen that skill before I stream it. In the meantime, we've been working on this picture. This is kind of how I want the webcomic to look. This is a unrelated character to the webcomic. You won't be seeing this character in the webcomic. Hopefully, sometime in the future, I have an animation planned for this portion of my universe that I've made over the years since elementary school. Okay. This character in particular was created in high school. But anyways, um, yeah, we're going to be continuing this. I wrote an entire volume for my webcomic. Uh, Hopefully, when we do about 7 characters meshes, we're going to start doing some pages too. Okay, so let's get started. Put on my little Gambit glove here. I don't know why I call it that. It's not even the right thing. I think Gambit he has these two covered. I just like calling it that at this point. Yeah, we're gonna be continuing. Where were we before? Where were we last Wednesday? Did you have a great weekend? Anybody out there? Even if you're watching a VOD, I hope you're having a good day today. I hope it's a great start to your week. Your week. I know Mondays aren't everyone's favorite day. I had a pretty chill weekend. You know, some rain, got a little cool. Okay, I'm gonna make sure I don't crop myself out of my own camera here. All right, it's not. I make sure that the my camera it sometimes auto tracks. I don't like when it does that. You know, what if I'm gonna get up or something and it suddenly just pans across my entire anyways, yeah, we're gonna work on that. Okay, we were doing medium shadows, I believe, for the entire picture. I want to start the clouds today, so that's what we're going to do. Um, do I want to start the clouds now? Yeah, let's why not? Let's not. Let's do that. Okay, let's do that now. Okay. All right. So while I was editing my story this past for the past week or so, I finally got a word and a page count based off of what professionals in the Western comics do. You have let's see, you have about 32 pages, right? 32 pages for an issue. I think we're going to be classifying our webcomic in issues instead of chapters. Though if I post it somewhere where there's a lot of manhwas or webtoons, I don't probably not webtoons, but webtoon like format. Okay, I'll call it chapters there. But for the time being, we're gonna go with issues. Okay, just for the sake of trying to measure how long this volume of comics is going to be. We have about well, my first draft anyway, and it'll probably be more. I don't know. I'm looking at something. I have an act one, or sorry, I have prologue, act one, act two, act three, and act four. Okay, and we're looking at 138,000 words in the rough draft. Right, I'm working on the second draft now, and we have let's see, according to acclaimed comic book writer Alan Moore, there's about 138 words per page. Okay, so if we go by that, then we'll have let's see, you got what 25, 35 pages per panel. If you have 6 panels on a page, that is I don't remember the page count, to be honest. I think that's around what, 700, maybe 800 pages, maybe. I don't know. But I do remember I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure I'm way off there, but I do remember the issue count. If you have 32 pages per issue, and it's about 23 and a half issues for volume 1. That's going to be a lot of things to draw, and that's not even counting the pages without any words whatsoever. So that's what I'm looking forward to doing in the hopefully near future. I'm trying to adjust my schedule to where we have more time to draw, which means all I have to do is wake up earlier or start earlier. I wake up pretty early anyway, but basically just start streaming earlier and then just go all the way until noon, which is where we normally stop. Today is going to be a little bit of a short stream because I started late. Um, but should be pretty normal here. I'm trying to figure out where I want to put this layer. Okay. Okay, I guess it'll be here. Is this a normal? Let me see something. I guess. This is the brush I use for clouds, okay? I'm just gonna paint in the shadows of the cloud for the time being. And we're gonna go from there. But the only thing is this I'm not in a the sky layer is not its own layer, so I have to be careful not to paint over some of this stuff right here. Okay, I'm just gonna do the dark portions of the clouds. I think we can go behind this character without coloring over it. I'm pretty sure I did that. I don't know. I have been I've been really focused on my 3D mesh, so I didn't get a chance to look this over before we started streaming to see. I figured I could just we're so far in at this point that we can just like literally just start streaming and just do some touch ups or whatever. I'm really having trouble seeing this color here, but that's okay. We're gonna keep going. All right, we're gonna keep going. We're just gonna keep going. I'm gonna put some. I want to avoid that hole there. Actually, no, it doesn't even matter if I avoid it or not because we'll just paint over it. Though these poles here aren't painted at all. I'm not sure what color I'm gonna make it. We're gonna end up blurring all of this anyway when it's all said and done. So, but I want to make it. I want to try to at least put some effort in the background. I didn't really plan the background out. I just really wanted to see if I drew a character with these heavier ink lines, even though it's not really ink. Obviously, we're in a digital medium, and and also some hatching. I really wanted to make this work for my comic art. I really admire people who have great hatching or cross hatching. I'm using single hatching because I'm not good at it. Every time I do cross hatching, it turns out extremely sloppy, and I don't practice it. I really just added spur of the moment. It's kind of it's an easy fix. All I have to do is just practice it, right? But I haven't been practicing it, so there you have it. All right. I want the sun to be on this side. Obviously, you can see the light sources coming this way. We're still working on the shadows, and we're going to be moving to the light today. We got to add the secondary. Well, the secondary light is on the jacket, sort of. It'll be lit. It'll be the sky and the grass lighting it. We got to add the secondary light reflecting off the face on the other side too, because right now it looks like it's kind of like a morning or maybe a sunset with how strong the shadow is compared to the light. But we're going to try to we're going to light this side of the face a little bit more to try to make it a little more brighter outside. Okay, at least that's what I'm thinking. That's my logic behind it. I don't know. I'm not sure if it's right or wrong. We kind of just go with it, try to go with the flow here. Now we need. I'll tell you what I'm gonna need. I want to make another layer here. Because I don't have a secondary Uh-oh. We forgot something. We're going to do a multiply, okay? It's a little dark. So we're going to back this up some. It doesn't really matter, just as long as it's not that dark. We're not drawing in, a storm, a thunderstorm, or something coming in, rolling in over the mountains. Okay, we're not doing that. We're doing just a little bit darker cloud. We'll probably make them a little less darker than that too. Okay, I'm just gonna make some really rough clouds over here. Over here is gonna be more light. I'm gonna have to paint the sky too, but we're gonna save that for the light layers. All right, we're on the second light. I like to do dark, darker, and darkest, as you can see right here. This is how I do the shadow. I'll do dark, darker, and darkest, and then light, lighter, and lightest. And we're doing that with the color as well. This is the grayscale. I like how grayscale turned out. I wasn't very good at grayscale when I started doing digital art in 2011, I think. Yeah, I think I've said 2010 in the past, but I got it mistaken. It was actually 2011. I didn't start until 2011. And we're talking about a difference of what, 5 6 months anyway. So what's the big deal? What's the big idea here? Okay. I don't know. I don't know what the big idea is. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Anyway, yeah, we're going to be. See, do we want to do? Yeah, we'll do just a little bit of. I'm going to make the brush a little bit smaller. That's spacing. We want to go size because I want the darkness to kind of fade into the light a little bit. That might be a little too small. Too small. It's like it just exponentially increases somewhere around here. So you got 3. Now we're gonna go to, oh my gosh, we're gonna go to 5. 899. Good morning. What the heck is going on here? I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. All right. I have no idea. All right. Welcome in. I hope you had a great week so far. Um, I've been a little AFK on the server here, on the Minecraft server we've been on. Um, but I'm finally building, which is always a great thing. Okay. Well, I'm finally building. I finally got the I have the framework for the farm built, and I kind of know what I want to do around the surrounding area. All right. Um, and I'm excited. I'm going to try to work on that sometime this evening. We're doing the clouds right now. We're trying to catch up the dark and darker shadows. I'm putting in darker clouds, and we're going to try to get them in the picture here. And I'm just going from dark to light. Oh, I don't want to hit my other mouse here. Oh, I think we're good. That's as far because we're like I said, it's daytime, and these aren't. There's no thunderstorm coming in. We're just gonna make them a little thick clouds here. Maybe it's just a cloudy, like a partly cloudy or partly sunny day. I forget the difference. I'm thinking it's partly sunny. No, partly cloudy, because that would be, forget it anyway. Yeah, partly cloudy day. All right. I'm not a weatherman. I gotta walk the dog up here. Okay, no problem. 99. Drawing with you. Okay, we gotta have a little draw along. That doesn't sound like a bad idea. Have a draw along. Have like we both draw the same. If there's a way you could have like a group of people drawing the same thing. I think they have the stream together thing, right? I'm sure people do that already, but yeah, nice one-off exercise, start to finish. I know I like to do a little long form, with the multiple streams, because I don't. I probably stream for about 3 hours max so far. But we're gonna try to push that a little bit more sometime in the future. I don't know when. Oh, let me get around this sign. You know what? I'll just paint over this because we'll paint over that. Okay. Oh, just trying to get the little spaces here. All right. As long as it's not over the buildings, because the buildings are already set up with the shadow and the light from the left side of the picture. So we don't want to paint over those. Even if we do, we can just fix it, but I'm just going to avoid them, okay? I'm just going to avoid them. All right, we're going to go back to the skin now, and we're going to put in the darkest. We're going to start the darkest. I think we did dark and darker, not the game, but the layers here that we have. We're going to add another darkness layer. Give me a second. I want to okay. I'm gonna switch the brush from clouds. We don't want to paint the darkest with the cloud brush here. I think we had we have a soft brush or hard. I'm pretty sure we had a hard brush. It was fine. We're gonna blend it in anyway, so we'll do a hard brush. Okay. And there's very little extremely dark areas. We already have that covered with the eye the black ink areas. So we don't have to add too much here. And we can always adjust this. As you can see, let's see here. Yeah, that's it. I don't want to completely take them away because I didn't. It's to kind of mess with the shadow levels here. But we can adjust them so that it's not pitch black if I decide to not use that much darkness there. But we're gonna stick with black for now. I think I like this for the look of the web comic, not counting the background because I didn't really. I'm gonna do way better backgrounds than that for the web comic, but right now I'm just doing something in between while I like I said I had to copy and paste. Let me see, about 6 or 7 thousand polygons. I didn't want to stream that, so we drew this instead. But we're done with that. I got it done. I just have to rearrange them, and then we can start doing the close. Hopefully that'll be sometime. I'm not sure if it'll be this week, but definitely next week. I'm gonna try to get it ready for next week. If not, we'll do another digital art piece. I'm leaning towards something macabre, maybe like a creature design. Maybe we can do that next. Like creatures. Anybody like creatures, like drawing horror creatures? Maybe we can do something like that. I got an OC for that. So and I was really thinking of a redesign. So it might be that if I can't get the clothes ready for stream this week or next week, that'll be the next project because this is going to be done like soon. I don't know when, but this week. I'm pretty sure I'll be done with this week by Wednesday, maybe even sooner than that. I don't know. All right, let me see. Let me adjust my thing here. My brush. And okay, we're gonna need something a little smaller than that. I'm gonna go to 30. Yeah, that's a little 25. How about that? Okay. Because as you can see, I'm putting over exactly where I'm going to start here. Let me see. Multiply. Let me see what we got here. Okay, we're gonna go with 45%. 45 percentile. That might be it. I think we'll go with that, but I want to decrease the brush size a little bit more. Okay. basically just here. All right, and then here. And then we're going to be working on the light, okay? We'll only do, I think, one shade of light on this side because this is supposed to be shadow and there's some reflection maybe off of her shoulder, the grass, just the ambient light reflecting. And then there'd be the eyes and, things like that, okay? As far as the light is concerned. Okay, we're going to go in between. We're going to get around the eyes a little bit with the darkness. Actually, let me do the other side again. Okay. We don't want to make it super dark because she's outside. It's not, and there's relatively enough light here to light still light even the shaded area. Okay, how about around the mouth? How about that? Underneath here. Here. Gets underneath the nose here. I haven't let me see. Besides X-Men, because I've been slowly keeping up with that, very slowly. I think I watched it on Friday. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. Besides that, I haven't really watched anything as far as TV shows. I haven't been watching much of anything these days. I might listen to a podcast or watch someone on Twitch. Let's see. We got. What did I listen to? Okay, well, let's see. What do I want to watch? We'll go with that. I saw some podcasts. I think if you ever heard of Pushing Up Roses, I enjoyed her content, and she actually helped me discover one of my favorite Twitch streamers to watch, which would be a Maple Mystery. They're making a video game in the vein of your Sierra text parser adventure games, point and click. And Julie Minamata, who is a very, very good artist, she is making this game by herself. Besides the music, I think she has someone making the music, and I think the game is going to come out this year. I'm really looking forward to it. This is the character. It's a very like a EGA. I think that's the name, the right name. I get it mixed up with VGA, but this is the character. I won this in a giveaway. This is the main character. It's a geologist, I think, and she has to, there's like a mystery that she has to solve in somewhere in Canada. It's called a Crimson or the Crimson Diamond. It's on Steam. So if you like those types of games, you can look forward to playing that. You can wish list it if you want. I know I have it wish listed, and I am going to try that game. I haven't played those types of games in a minute. I think the last one I played was King's Quest 6. I think that's my favorite one out of the King's Quest series. Is King's Quest 6. It does not have the text parser. You just basically it's pure point and click. So you just interact on the screen with whatever, just with the mouse. You don't have to like type anything and you don't have to type what you want to do in King's Quest 6. It has voice acting. It's got its own soundtrack, like like a licensed song type deal. And I don't know, I just like it. I like it. I like the setting of it. It has like a South Asian setting, like a Middle East or Arabian, and for at least one of the islands. Multiple islands you can go to, and then you got your classical medieval fantasy stuff in mixed in there too. That might be the only King's Quest I beat. I think I beat the Perils of Rosella, which was the very first one I played. I played that one back in '98. One of my family members had it, and that was my introduction to King's Quest. But as far as Sierra games are concerned, the very first one that I played, my cousin wanted me to try the game Willie Beamish for the Adventures of Willie Beamish for the Sega CD. I know it's on DOS and whatnot, but the Sega CD version is the my first that's the first version that I tried. So if you don't like that version, forgive me. I kind of do like it. I like the voices, but it runs much better on the original versions. Unfortunately, the Sega CD has horrendous loading times, and the color palette is limited. I think the Sega CD only did 256 colors. But I kind of like the look of the colors. I had like this very watercolory, like washed out look. I know some people don't maybe not like that, but I do like the palette of the color palette of Willie Beamish. I want to kind of do that. It reminds me of I can't remember the artist's name because I just discovered it, but it's like an older artist who did colors like that. I have to come back to you with that name, but yeah, Willie Beamish was my first point and click that I played. It's fairly easy to get into. There's only like a few problem areas. Sierra is known for their difficulty, but there's like one or two areas um that I had trouble with as a kid. I got stuck. There's like 5 days that you go through. I got stuck on the third day because you have to. Your babysitter is not who she says who says she is, and it kind of turns into a boss fight, and you have to like defeat the babysitter of that's babysitting you, or you lose. And the timing, I didn't get the timing down at the time, but I did manage to beat the game later, like later in life. I went back and played it on the DOS version. It just has text and no voices, and I beat that version. And then eventually I beat the Sega CD version, which is more or less the same. It's just much slower in the voices too. But I kind of have a soft spot for the voice work because that was the first version I played, so that's the version that I like playing, even if it is slower. You get an extra mini game for your Nintari, which is the joke console in that game. You're a kid who is starting summer vacation, and you want to enter this video game championship, but you have a poor. Well, you have one low grade. There was a C in music appreciation. I guess that was supposed to be like a comedic thing. A C in music appreciation, and your dad gets laid off, and that kind of causes him to take your console and lock it up for the summer because changes need to be made around the house. Everybody's got to tighten their belt. I think he actually literally says that. And your job is to and it's kind of not important in the Sega CD version, but you're in the DOS version. You want to try to get the console back and practice so you can win the championship and then find a way into the championship. And that's kind of like the premise of the story. It's basically just trying to enter this video game championship, but your dad being laid off kind of sets off a B plot, which kind of affects the entire city as a whole, and you have to kind of resolve that. He gets a new job, and it's basically a position that's going to set him up as a fall guy because they are going to frame him for what they're going to do with the city. There's like a big plot to kind of like screw up the city, and your dad's going to take the fall for it, and you have to save him. You got to kind of like bail him out of that. it is for kids, but it has a lot of adult humor in it too. It's like one of those things where you got the you get the innuendos and whatnot. But yeah, it was the first. And then I had Deja Vu for Nintendo. I like that because I really like that one. It's probably my favorite point and click. Even though I don't know, I really like King's Quest 6, but my favorite point and click overall is probably Deja Vu. I played it for the Nintendo. I didn't play the DOS version until later, and I think I still have because when you beat the game, you can print out a certificate like a like a detective agency certificate. I think I still have that printout somewhere. I thought I saw when I was cleaning out my closet. I found it, and I decided to keep it. I was like, why not? You can always just beat the game and print out another one, but I still have it. Yeah, I like that series, and then and of course, Uninvited and Shadowgate. Those are two others. Welcome back, 99. I'm just talking about point and click adventures. I don't know if I talked about this before. I probably did, but whatever. I was talking about one that's coming out from a streamer that I enjoy watching. Julie Minamata. She's making a or yeah, Maple no, sorry. Her Twitch channel is called A Maple Mystery, but um the the game is called A Crimson Diamond. Sorry, a little tongue tied there. It almost seems like that's the name of the game because I see that name so much, but it's actually the name of the channel. It's called The Crimson Diamond. I'm not showing stream, but I know we have a ton. Yeah, I want to get into the Tex Murphy series, and I want to play Phantasmagoria as well. I know you played that one uh before. Oh, and I really like Blade Runner. That's also one of my favorites. In my top three is King's Quest 6, Blade Runner, and Deja Vu. I think any point if there's a point and click and you're a detective, I think those are like my favorite because that's like perfect. It's perfect for the genre. You got to figure out the clue, find the clues, put them together. I think that's why I like Deja Vu so much. So if I were to ever to do a point and click game, I think it would be a detective game. I don't know. I don't have a story or an idea or anything right now because I didn't put much thought into it yet. But if I ever do, I think that's what I'm going to do. It's going to be something you have to solve. I don't know if you're going to be like a frame job or if you're just like another case. Um, but I think that's if I ever do a point and click, it's that you're going to be a detective. You're going to be a detective. Yeah, Phantasmagoria is definitely is great. Two, that's the guy, right? He actually started a Twitch channel. I forget his name. Damn it. But he streams point and clicks and other games on Twitch as well. And also he does some streams with the female lead from the first game as well. I also forget her name. I'm sorry. Sorry. But yeah, they've been making quite a bit of videos recently. They're still around. They still look the same pretty much, they've aged pretty well. Anyways, yeah, yeah, Tex Murphy. There's a lot of text. Does his channel improve the game? I saw they were on Game Grumps at one point. Yeah, yeah. And they also have their own channel as well. Does his channel improve the game? Well, if you're a fan of Phantasmagoria and you can get some insights on what was going on at the time and some areas where they filmed and things like that. They already did that stuff. Maybe they'll play it again one day. I don't know. But I saw all the videos. I was interested. So yeah, I would say it kind of improves the enjoyment of the game in some way. I know the second one wasn't as well received as the first, but I still find it interesting. I will probably play it. There's definitely some puzzles in the second one that's um a little out there, but that's par for the course for Sierra. But yeah, the first one, um, I like the setting first of all. Like big giant houses with all these crazy rooms because those are the types of things I would do in Minecraft. So looking at that stuff gives me ideas. I got tons of point and clicks in my library, but I need to be in the mood for them. Yeah, I feel you on that. I have all the King's Quest. I got to start Police Quest and Space Quest. I got Tex Murphy. I got Phantasmagoria's 1 and 2. I don't know if I have Harvester or Dark Seed. I've seen those games so many times, and normally, if I'm in the mood for those games, I just put them on and watch someone else play it, like Game Grumps, like you said. But because so many people have played that game, and there's so much, there's like it's a cult following at this point. But one day I'll probably play through it. One day I picked up all the Sam and Max games and keep telling myself I'll get to them. Yeah, those are really good. I want to play those and the Monkey Islands. I know Bejeweled plays Monkey Island. I tune into that sometimes. I do like that. Um, what? Hold on, I gotta fix something here because this is oh, sorry. I accidentally moused over the news widget on my other computer. Yeah, I get all the Monkey Island through her. Yeah. Um, it's good because you can't really lose in those games. You just play until you win, basically, except for like one thing. I think you can drown in one area, but you really have to try. You really have to try to get to die and kill yourself. But other than that, oh, I want to play. That's not really a point and click. Never mind. I was gonna say Heart of Darkness, but forget it. That's more like a Odd World or Flashback. It's like that type of game. Let me see. What else? I already said Space Quest, right? I really like those games too. Even though I've seen them all, I kind of still want to play them. I'm still interested in playing them. Um, I guess one day I'll get Harvester and Darkseid. No, there's one that I haven't seen anyone play, and I'm pretty sure this is a point and click. It's a Beavis and Butthead point and click. It actually looks interesting. I kind of want to play that. That's been on my list for a while, but I have not gotten around to playing it. No, not that one. It's a PC one. It's called Virtual Stupidity. The name just came to me. I didn't say the name because I had forgotten it. I forgot the subtitle, but it's actually Beavis and Butthead Virtual Stupidity. I kind of want to play. I think that's a point and click. I know it has some point and click things that you could do, but because I actually haven't seen the game, I'm planning on going into it blind. So Thimbleweed Park is a popular, more modern one. I like the next big thing. I've never heard of them. Wait, maybe I have heard of Thimbleweed Park. That does ring a bell, but I'm not sure in what capacity or what way it does ring a bell. But I may have heard of that one. Um, let's see. Are there any other point and clicks? Oh, I want to play Conquest of the Longbow. It actually looks like the best, the literally the best Sierra game that they made. It's your Robin Hood. It came out in 2018. It was really popular at the time. Okay, I'm gonna have to put that on my list. Here's my pencil. I'm gonna write that down so I don't forget. Thimbleweed Park. Here we go. That's a pen, but it will. Oh well. Okay. Uh, Thimbleweed Park. Usually I have a notepad up, but I did not do that today. My notepads are for comics, and I have notepads for comics and anime because I'm a super casual when it comes to anime, but so I have to write it all down. And I love all the Vaki games. Which ones are those? I'm not familiar with that name at all. Deveki. Deveki. You talking about one of those FMVs? I know you've played a few of those. The one I want to play at dead of night, that is the one that I want to play the most out of all of those. That looks the most fun. You're just trapped in a hotel with some crazy dude who likes to bludgeon you. Shape-shifting detective, Poe and Monroe, Motors Museus, Dr. Decker. Okay, those are these. I have not heard of these games at all. I did not know you love all of the DeBecki games because I've never heard of them. Any of those at all. But I'm going to definitely take a look now that you've mentioned it. I'm going to need another page for that one. Let's see. Shape-shifting detective. Oh, that's my stylus. I can't write with that on paper. I need to write with a real pen. We got let me see. We got here. We got shape shifting detective. It's funny because you watched me stream them all. Did I? I don't remember those. And you're probably right. I just don't remember. I'm sorry. When I think of your streams lately, I've been thinking of the Vanias. I know you played a lot of those lately, and that kind of like and Freedom Planet. Those ones stuck out to me, so I'm sorry. It'll come back to me when I look these games up. I'm sure. As soon as I see them, I'll be like, "Oh yeah, that's right." Poe and Monroe, Poe and Monroe. I want to play the FMV that has actual actors in it. It's Christopher Walken's in it, and people. There's some people from The Sopranos. There's Mickey from Rocky. He's in it. It's like a 1996 game. I forget what it's called though. Poe and Monroe. Uh, Murderous Muses. Wait, was Murderous Muses? Was that the one with all the pictures? The art pictures in the museum? Is that the one? I remember that one. If that's the one. And Dr. Decker. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I do remember now. My bad. I'm sorry. Dr. Decker. Yeah. I definitely. Okay. Yeah. 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 I remember that one. Yeah. I need to see more of that. I think at a glance I didn't like it at first, but yeah, I'll take a look at that again. That was the hardest detective game I ever played. Okay, yeah. I remember you were just in the room with the pictures and it kind of looked like something I wasn't really interested in. But and he didn't stream it for very long, so I didn't see a lot of it. But yeah, another look. I'll take another look at it. You have to take notes. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's how all the classic point clicks are. That's so in that way it kind of carries on that spirit. So yeah, yeah, the Christopher Walken one. Like I see like I have like two or three people. Let me see. Um, what was that guy's name? Something Taco. I forget what his name is. Sorry, Taco Adventure or something like that. Robot Spacer. He's making his own game as well. They usually play point and clicks, and it's always something I've never seen before. So I really enjoy their streams for that. You have to take those. You definitely have to. All kinds. There's so many. There's so many adventure games. I like watching. They're mostly a very interesting ideas out there that people were doing. There's a venture game for all kinds of things. It's an adventure. It kind of makes me want to make an adventure game as well. But I don't want to. I don't know. I like challenging things, so I definitely would try to make something challenging. I know there's a lot of people out there that I think I'm right in assuming this, but a lot of people who are inspired by that genre and they want to make their own game, they don't really do the crazy deaths as much anymore. But I think I would do that. I think I would do that. And not like anything ridiculous, but just Like, oh no, you didn't not anything like, oh, you didn't save that cat over there on the other side of the river, so you're gonna now you just cost yourself a dead end, and you're not gonna know that you're in a dead end. Not nothing like that, no. But definitely something that'll make you think, I guess. Like those types of puzzles. And definitely something that you could figure out on your own. Because I don't it's no fun just when I was a kid, I think I would get amusement of that, just making things like like I want to be the guy type level traps in your game. But nowadays, no, I would rather challenge the person and not, just kill them outright. Like, oh no, you see, like things like, oh no, you left the stove on, your house blew up, some stuff like that. Yeah, it's because players have changed. People are not okay with sudden failures. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Obvious, things, not just out of the blue. Oh, you walked over here, so you're dead, or you crossed the street at a wrong time, so you got hit by a bus. There was a lot of things like that in the day. But I would definitely make my point and click a little more on the challenging side, but nothing that you can't handle on your own. All the answers will always be right there in front of you. It's not going to be any moon logic type stuff. That's what I think I would do. I don't like I said I don't have an idea yet, but I'm gonna think about it one day because there's plenty of game engines out there that will allow you to make um a point and click, and I think I have the art part of it covered. So all I would need really is a story and all the things that you can do, and it'll all be done by me. I'm not gonna like have an AI, do the scenarios and stuff like that. Because I know that's a thing too. I know there's some people out there who are, the adventure is kind of like overseen by an AI. But no, it'll be my thoughts, my touch, my logic coming into this. But yeah, it won't be I think I like a non-linear format, so it won't be like okay, it won't be too formulaic, but I'll think of something. It'll definitely be something detective related though. That's a definite thing. I'm trying to see if there's any other really dark shadows that I can add to this. It's really once you get far enough in the shadows, it's like you don't even really they don't really do much as the darker you get. There's only this part right here that I need to fix. I'm gonna paint over this because you can see there's two tones here. It should be all one tone. I'm thinking that I made a mistake at some point the um with the grayscale in this area, but I'm gonna fix that right now. But yeah, I have a lot of point and clicks. I don't remember them all. I know there's a lot of Tex Murphys. I don't know anything about Tex Murphy. Murphy, okay. I still have a lot of King's Quest as well. I haven't played them all. I've seen them all, but I haven't played them all. I've only played four, 6, and 7. Those are the only three I played, and I've only beaten. I'm pretty sure I've beaten four. I don't actually remember beating four, but I'm pretty sure I did. Like I know I got really far in it at the very least, but I definitely beat 6. Okay, where are we here? What are we doing? Okay, that's right. Yeah, I was gonna fix this. You know what? Let's not do that. Let's do this instead. I'm gonna copy that exact tone here and just paint over that because it should be the same. It shouldn't be like what it is now with the two different tones. Sudden failures. What was the one? I'm watching. I think it's a Maple Mystery. Is playing Earthrise. Earthrise has a lot of like sudden deaths, and they are quite violent for your EGA. I don't know when it came out. I think it was like early '90s or something, but it's It's like wow, they go really in on the deaths. I don't know. I guess that's why I like Deja Vu so much. I know Deja Vu has its own things, but it's not super sudden things. It's very obvious stuff, right? Like you're a PI who wakes up in a bathroom stall. You have no memory of who you are, and you're clearly framed for murder. So obviously, walking to a police station before you solve, the game is an instant game over. That's really obvious stuff. I think there's like one or two things like if you walk to a certain screen, you fall in a manhole. That's very that's probably the most out of the way death in the game, I would think. Or putting your own gun to your head because you can do that. I mean, that's you have to go out of your way for that. If you just want to see if it'll happen, and yes, that is in Nintendo as well. That's in the Nintendo version. You can do that. I don't know if they missed it or if they left it in, but you can actually kill yourself, and that's something that Nintendo is uh probably usually not okay with, but they got away with it somehow. I guess it's because you wouldn't think to try that. Maybe when they're testing, they're game testing or they're rating the game, and they're like, oh, okay, I guess you can't. They didn't catch that. Kind of like how Eternal Champions for the Sega Genesis, it's an extremely violent fighting game, but you have to go like it's like pixel perfect areas that you have to knock the player into at a certain level of health in order to trigger these super violent deaths. And that is why that game, and I'm sure that when they were rating the game, they did not manage to do that, so it got rated teen. But it's like it's worse. It's probably worse than Mortal Kombat, at least at the time. I'd say some of those deaths in Eternal Champions for at least for the Sega CD version, they're so in like extreme like crazy animated that I would say even today would give Mortal Kombat a run for its money for some of those things. And Mortal Kombat goes crazy with that stuff. At least especially the new ones, they go really into it. But it's getting to the point now that for a lot of those, if you've seen one, you've seen them all. I don't know if they're running out of ideas or what, but there are a lot of really out there ones. Okay, let me smudge that. When I first played Eternal Champions, I didn't know what it was. I had borrowed it from a family member and I played it, and I was like, I don't like this game. Like the controls were bad. Even today, it's like I don't know about these controls, man. I do like the game overall. Um, it was one of my favorite fighting game franchises. And they almost came back with it, but I guess that fell through. So it's probably won't see Eternal Champions anymore, but that's all right. But anyway, when I played it, I didn't like it at first, but I happened to trigger one of the deaths on the first fight that I fought, and then I was like, maybe there's more to this game. 'Cause, I like macabre things, and it was. I still remember to this day. I go in. If you know the game, you'll know what I'm talking about. If I go into the game, and I accidentally hit the button twice, so I picked Shadow. Shadow's like the first person that it appears on. It's not like a screen where you can see all the characters and select it. You see one screen and then you shuffle them that way. You just press right or left and it'll shuffle the icon, the avatar of the character. But when I clicked it, I accidentally clicked the C button twice and it picked Shadow, and then I fought Trident first on his stage. And that was the very first overkill is what they call them, I believe, in that game I've actually seen. If that didn't happen, I probably would have turned the game off because I was not thrilled at all. It was like this game is dumb. I don't know how to do any of the moves. The controls are very stiff. Some of the character designs are okay though, and I do like the lore, like the story behind it. I think that's probably the best part of it. But man, is it it's a little rough. Just a little rough. I'm gonna darken that neck. I don't know, man. I don't know about this, about that tone there. So I think it's okay overall, but I'm gonna darken the neck up just a little bit. But yeah, on the stage you get grabbed by a plant and eaten. Like it snatches you under the water. You're fighting in water and it snatches you underwater. And then you see like thrashing, whatever, and then a pool of the water turns red where you were. That was the very first one that I've seen in that game. And I said, whoa, okay, I just died. That was interesting. So I kept playing it. And the more I played it, the more I liked it. My favorite character in that game is Midnight. He's a scientist in the 1960s that somehow knows Jeet Kune Do. He's in Vietnam. All right, he's like a Vietnamese. He's like a not Vietnamese, but he's a scientist for the United States military, and they're trying to develop a biological weapon to use against the Vietnamese. And this guy and it's like it's going to work. So this guy has a change of heart. He's like, no, I want to kill all these people with this biological weapon. So he steals it and he runs and he falls into a vat at an airport, which I'm pretty sure airports don't have vats, but whatever. He falls into this vat and it mixes in with the vat and he falls in and he turns into a vampire. But he doesn't want to kill anybody. And it's not like the type of vampire that sucks blood. It's more like like life force. Like you can drain your life force. It's like that kind of vampire. And I know that's a thing in certain works. And so then he spends like 100 years or so running from the authorities because they decide, okay, we're going to use whatever's in that vat anyway, and he ends up turning a good they end up turning a good portion of the population of Earth into vampires as a result of still trying to use the biological weapon. Sorry, I was AFK and I'm back. Oh, welcome back. I'm talking about Eternal Champions and who's vampires. I was talking about Midnight's story. He was my favorite character in the game, and the U.S. military wanted to make a biological weapon to use against uh the Vietnamese in the Vietnam War, because this is the 1960s, and he was like, oh no, this is too much. It'll we're gonna kill a lot of people with this. So he stole the research and tried to run, and he falls into a vat at an airport, and whatever was in the vat mixes in with the biological weapon and turns him into a vampire. And I was explaining how the vampire, it's not like your traditional suck blood vampire. It's like a draining your energy life force type vampire, which is actually a very interesting. I find that choice interesting because it's a very violent game. So I'm like, why didn't they go with the blood vampires? The Eternal Champions is a very, it does not shy away from violence. So you would think that the blood sucking variety vampires would be like perfect for that game, but they didn't do that for some reason. And anyway, they decide to use the whatever was in the vat anyway as the weapon, and they end up turning a good portion of the world into vampires as a result, which gives rise to vampire hunters, of course. And they spend like it's like 100 years he's on the run trying to find a cure, and vampire hunters are coming after him every time. And right before he finds the cure, he gets killed. But the whole premise of the story, hey studio, good morning, welcome to the stream. And the whole premise of the thing is these people throughout time and history, um they um they are taken right before they die, before they can change the world for the better, and teleported into the future, and then they all have to fight for the right to go back to their time and prevent their death and then change the world for the better. That's the whole premise of Eternal Champions. Here you go. Give Studio a follow. Great artist. Uh and game dev. Sorry, I lost my train of thought here. I was in the middle of a story. um, yeah, that's the premise of the story basically. And all the fighting characters are like people who are like the best of the best in their time period. They're people who can kind of they discover something that will help the world, but they're killed before they can do something about it. And the Eternal Champion only has the power, even though he spent all of his power going through all these points in time. Oh yes, it's Larson and Xavier. Yeah, I gotta say, back then when I first played the game, Larson was my favorite because I really enjoyed. He was like a mafia dude, but he's also a cat burglar. He didn't want to kill anybody. That was his thing. He was yeah, and he worked for a really powerful organized crime mob, and he had and basically the his crime boss is like, okay, we're not gonna let you, we're not gonna have you kill anybody. We just need you to take this package to the police chief in a hospital, and he does it. It's such an obvious thing, right? It's like how can you not know what you're about to do here? And of course, when he realizes that the package is a bomb, he tries to he it blows up before he can get rid of it, and it takes out the entire hospital. A children's ring. It's like the worst bomb that you could possibly have, right? Yeah, he can save the hospital if you win. He'll come back and he'll manage to get rid of the bomb sooner, and then he becomes like some big anti-crime figure, and basically ends up stopping all crime in his time period and in the periods after. So yeah, that's like his thing. And Xavier develops alchemy basically, but they're like, nah, that's a witch. That man is a witch. We're gonna burn him at the stake, and then he gets burned at the stake. And it was all science. It was like very advanced science that he discovered. He could turn lead into gold. That was like his biggest thing. And it's also in his move set. He can turn you into gold. And he's got all kinds of like different like alchemical magic things that he can do, but it's all science. Only one I beat the game with. I beat the game with Midnight. He was the easiest because he can attack under the Eternal Champion special moves, and that was like a godsend. I almost beat it the first time I got to the Eternal Champion. I picked Slash because like, man, I was bored. I was like, man, okay, I'm just messing around here, and I picked Slash, and I almost beat the game with him because he has really good normal attacks, surprisingly. But I just didn't know how to do any of his specials, so that kind of contributed to my loss. And then after that, I started taking the game seriously and trying to figure out how to play it. But I beat the game with Midnight Blade, and I almost beat it with Rax. I'm really good with Rax too. I like Rax. Rax is a cyborg, a kickboxing cyborg, and basically, he has this match that gets rigged, and they put a virus in his cybernetics, and he dies right before he's about to win the match because he wouldn't take the fall in the match. But if he wins, he like becomes like this big cyborg rights advocate or whatever. I don't know how that affects the world, but apparently, yeah, cyborgs have rights too, so that's a good thing. So that's his whole story. All these endings change, by the way, in the Sega CD version. It's kind of like a quasi sequel because the way they treat it is nobody wins in the Sega Genesis version. It's all a time loop. Every time somebody wins, the time resets, and they have to do it all over again because um, someone is stealing eternal champions in time, and you have to basically change all the futures, or none of them will come to pass, and then the whole thing resets again. So some kind of weird time loop that happens because the eternal champion didn't collect all the people who were affected by this thing. Apparently, there's some kind of entity in the background who is causing all these people's deaths so he can destroy the world. Even back in the day, I like alchemists. Yeah, it's all their stories are interesting to me. I like that's my favorite thing about Eternal Champions is the lore behind it. It's just too bad the controls are so bad that it kind of really weakens the game as a whole. That still looks a little uneven. I might have to fix that off stream at some point. Keep going now. All right, so I'm going to merge that down. Oops, we're not going to merge that down. We're going to leave that as is now. We will move it. Hang on, let me see if I can merge it down in this order. Nope. Let's undo that too. Mace the Dark Ages. Oh man. And Eternal Champions have some of the best stories, but the worst overall stories. It's always like battle for this power that makes you the best, right? Weapon Lord has that story. Eternal Champions is basically the right to live, even though you've died already. Um, what was the other one? There's quite a few stories where you're battling to be like this all powerful fighting being. Like that. That was a very common thing in fighting games that weren't Street Fighter. Rift, yeah, Rift. I never played Rift. There was one that was it's a PlayStation one. Bio something. It had that same premise. And Biomutant, was it Biomutant? I guess, yeah. And Rise of the Robots, I think, was the same thing. There was another one where people had these tattoos that gave them power. I don't remember what that one was, but it was like digitized actual actors in Mortal Kombat. They had these tattoos that gave them power. And that was another one. Uh, yeah, it was so many like that had that same premise. I think Eternal Champions was heading towards something where they basically needed all the champions to live in order to stop this whatever this entity was that was trying to destroy everything. And what they were going to do in the third one before they canceled it was basically this evil thing was had his own set of eternal champions, which was basically the people that killed the regular eternal champions, and they had to battle to see which one would live and which one would die. And throughout the course of the game, you would affect history of how things happened. Like, so say like you could prevent Rax from becoming a cyborg and his move set would change, things like that. Hey, realness. Good morning. Welcome to the stream. Talking about fighting games with old obscure fighting games with weird storylines. I'm talking about Eternal Champions. Yeah, the third one was definitely something that it was going to be pretty much what Mortal Kombat is doing now with the whole timelines thing. Mortal Kombat basically whatever all the stuff that Mortal Kombat is doing now with the reset timeline, different versions of characters. Eternal Champions was going to do that way back in the day. I feel like I feel like they saw that and they were like, okay, you know what? Let's get that and put it in our game. I feel like Mortal Kombat 9, 10, 11, and was there MK12? I guess that's one, right? All of that was feels like it was inspired by what Eternal Champions was going to be back in the 90s. Okay, I feel like they kind of took those ideas in a sense. MK ripped off the MK ripped off. Yeah, yeah. Basically, I strongly feel that. Anyone else still? Oh, okay. Pokemon Go. I've never tried Pokemon Go Studio. That was one I didn't get into. Maybe someday. I don't know. But no, I didn't. I never played it. Unfortunately, I hear it's pretty fun, and you can get some nice exercise in looking for them Pokemon. I remember when that was a thing. People were they had these things. People were like, "Hey, look, there's a legendary I don't know hole over here." And you go over there and you get your phone taken, you get robbed. Like, wow, Really? You can't just catch the dang Pokemon? Now you gotta try to screw people over? There are still old ladies in my neighborhood with multiple phones playing Pokemon Go. Wow. Yeah, I saw one where they were like, yeah, here Mewtwo was on top of this mountain, and you had to go to the mountain. There's like this big mountain that you probably can't climb, and Mewtwo was up there. I don't know how they choose where to put the Pokemon. I feel like they just is it done by an algorithm or AI or something? Can you find a Pokemon in the middle of the ocean? I wonder. Like if you took it on a cruise or something, like you just happen. Oh, look, Mr. Mime is over there in the middle of the water. Let's. I don't know how we're gonna get him though. Like does anybody has anyone done that? It was anyone who showed up. So do they choose where the hot spots are? Like how do they choose? That's what I'm trying to figure out here. Can I go into a cave? Like, oh hey, look, Electabuzz somehow is in here in this cave. Oh no, there's a cave in. I can't get out. I don't know. You never know. Hey, look, an Arcanine. Hey, look, an actual tiger. I don't know. Go picks based off of biome and user submitted info. I'm assuming that there was a path in that mountain, but I remember something like that. I don't know if it was real or not. I didn't really follow it too closely, but yeah, that's why I remember when there was a big thing. That was what people were doing. One time I found someone I know in real life at the mall playing Pogo. Hey, look, there's a I don't know. I don't even like what is it? All the gens? Is it like any Pokemon like ever, or is it just specific like certain ones? Or there's some Pokemon that there just aren't in the game for whatever reason, or do they put them all in? Because that's even if they put some of them in, that's still a lot of animation that they got to do. And I know they're not really for that because they won't do that for the handheld games. It's up to Gen 4 at the moment with some that are only in that game. Oh, it has its own Pokemon. They roll them out a few every month. And Gen 4 kind of goes beyond that gen, right? I remember I because I did go back and play Fire Red, but they had some things from like whatever current gen they were actually on. They had a couple of Pokemon in Gen 4. Like they were doing that. They had like a whole island in Kanto where you could find Pokemon from future gens because in the universe they were just like hooking up the internet and connecting with all the other continents. They're a little behind the times, you know. Internet was already a thing when the games came out, right? So I don't know why they didn't just go with that. Like, oh yeah, we got internet. I mean, they had like PCs and whatnot. So, but apparently, they're just now connecting the world to their own version of the internet. It's not a I don't know why I did that. The light is right there. I should take away this shadow here because this doesn't really make any sense. I'll fix that. I already have the darkest parts covered in the jacket, so I'm not going to do anything more to the jacket. There's just Bulbapedia, Bulba Garden, Meltan. That's right. Yeah, yeah. Meltan is in Let's Go though, so not even that is Go anymore. Yeah. I managed to get that. I got Meltan and Melmetal. You can't catch it in Let's Go. It has to be traded. I know. I got it. I got it. Yeah, that's right. You. I forgot about Meltan and Melmetal. Yeah, that's I got Meltan and Melmetal from a trade in an I had to go and find someone with a legit one because there's a lot of non-legit ones out there. But I got it. I did manage to complete the Pokédex once more for Gen 1. I felt good. Even though that game is kind of, Baby Town Frolic easy, but I'm not going to talk about that. It's very easy compared to your standard Pokemon game, especially when it comes to catching shinies. But I'm not going to acknowledge that at all. Okay, I'm the shiny master, so don't at me. All right, I got all the Pokemon, and many of them are shiny, and you can't take that away from me. I won't let you. Mew was a ripoff. Yeah, Mew was a ripoff. Although it is, I found that it was somewhat easier to play that game with the Pokeball controller, which I still have. Actually, I think it's within my reach here. I'm gonna show it to you. Oh, oh, I found it. Got it. Here it is right here. If you bought this, you get a free Mew, but you only get one. So if you trade it away and you don't get it back, well, sucks to be you. I have to clean this thing. It's been on the floor for months, years maybe. Oh, hang on, let me it's got a little crud on it. Let me sanitize my hands. Thinking, I think there was some dust down there. I don't want to get it on my tablet or stylus. I got so many shiny, and they are all named after RMT Red websites. Wow. Nah, I caught all of my original shinies. Um, okay, no, not all of them, because I traded some for some others. But yeah, shinies were easy to get in that game. You could play for about 40 minutes and you'll see a shiny eventually if you stay in the same area. I wish they would. I killed a shiny Mewtwo. Oh no. Wow, yeah, yeah. If you get a shiny Mewtwo, like naturally, sorry to hear that, man. So pour one out for that shiny Mewtwo years later. Okay, a little sanitation here. I gotta wipe that Pokeball off. Didn't realize he was shiny. What was he? What is he, like a light green, a pale green color? Or was it blue or pink? Something like that. I don't remember. I think he shares the same shiny color as Mew, but I've never gotten one, so I don't know. I had with Let's Go, I did dragons. They were all shiny, including Charizard, which isn't technically a dragon type, but he looks like a dragon, so I got him. And I think Aerodactyl also looked like a dragon, but not really a dragon. He's like what is he, like rock flying or something like that. But he wasn't shiny. So he was the only one of mine that wasn't shiny. I think anyway. Did I get a shiny Aerod? No, I'm pretty sure I didn't. And I was trying to get Alolan Executor, which really does, it's like a grass dragon psychic type or whatever. I think it was psychic dragon, a grass dragon. He has a really long neck. He looks ugly as heck. I hate his freaking design, but he was a dragon, and dragons are like really rare in Gen 1. So light green, okay, yeah, 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 yeah. That's what. Yeah, I remember that. I remember seeing that somewhere. I don't remember where. Dragonite, of course. Gyarados. That one was sort of easy to find because I caught that by the power plant, and I kept seeing gold Magikarps. That was probably the easiest one to get. I wanted to beat him once before catching him. When I reloaded, I realized he was purple. Oh yeah. They do have the little, the sparkly things that come off of them when you see them, right? And get this, there's wait, was this in the game? They have star shinies and square shinies. Like the squares will come off of them or the shiny. Like one is rarer than the other, but it's still shiny to me. There was no way you were going to get all of one type of shiny. There's two different types of shiny. I'm pretty sure I might be mixing that up with Sword and Shield, but I thought that was in Let's Go Eevee as well. I could be wrong though. You have to talk to 99 for that one. I'm not sure. 99, is that true? Did they have the square and the star shinies also in Let's Go? If you're around, I don't know if you're AFK or not, but if you're able to answer that, I would like to know because I'm pretty sure that was in Let's Go. I know it's in Sword and Shield. I still gotta finish that because I went Shiny Honey on Sword and Shield, and it is nothing like Shiny Honey in Let's Go. Much more rare, but I have a I'm using the Matsuda method, and it's still kind of tough. Okay, all right, thank you. So I got that mixed up. Yeah, I guess Let's Go only has one type of shiny. I like how you can get stupid OP in Let's Go. Yeah, it was Let's Go was very easy in like in a lot of ways. But you know, if for me it was I was basically just it was basically nostalgia for me if you're playing Gen 1 again, you know, with some new features. And they made it extremely easy. I hope they do that for gold because gold and silver because that is my favorite gen. And if they do like Let's Go, I don't know, Chikorita or something, or they could just do Let's Go Eevee 2, Eevee and Pikachu 2 if they want to do that. I don't know. I'm not really a big fan of Pikachu or Eevee to be honest, but I like the Eevee evolutions. I don't like Eevee itself, but I picked Eevee because I thought I was going to be able to evolve it. Silly me, okay? It's based off of yellow. You know, once you they let you evolve Pikachu in yellow, but it loses the ability to talk and you know all that stupid stuff. Hang out in Diglett Cave. You have max stat Dugtrio in an hour. Yeah, I believe it. Let's Go X and Z are the next two. There's a trailer for it. It looks dope. Oh, okay, okay. Well, you know, if it's anything like Let's Go, I'll give it a shot. And I never played X and Z. Wait, X and Y? But they're calling it X and Z? Either way, I never played that gen, so that will be that will be interesting. I'll definitely be interested in playing that. And that would be a good way for me to play that gen. I don't have a DS, so there's a lot of that stuff I missed. I think some of the acquired titles. I don't know anything about what I'm saying, but anyway, go up to let's see. I don't think I got Alpha and Omega, Black White, Black Two, White Two, X and Z, Sun and Moon. All those were kind of. I think those were not. I couldn't get those to work. I have to try again. Maybe somebody did, but I have up to Pearl. I think Pearl, Ruby, Sapphire, whichever one goes up to before. No, I have some DS ones. 3D. No, I have. I think the 3DS ones were the ones that I had trouble getting to work, but I need to try. I need to check again and see if that was resolved. Huh? What was I saying? I don't know. I know nothing. All games are bought through legal means. Which games? I don't know. I don't know nothing. Okay, I don't know nothing about nothing. Anyway, enough of that. Oh my gosh, what are we doing here? Huh? What is this? But yeah, I still need to play Ruby Sapphire. I played up to Fire Red and Leaf Green. I still need to play Ruby Sapphire. Which one's after that? Diamond and Pearl. Which one is after that? Uh, is it Black and White, and then X and Y, and then Sun and Moon, and then Black Two, White Two, and instead of course Sword and Shield, and then Scarlet and Violet, and then all the Legends ones. I got a lot of catching up to do. I'll get around to it eventually, though. Let me see. What are we doing here? Sorry, a little lax here, but there's not much left for the shadows, so I'm kind of just doing just little minor checks here and there. But I think, yeah, Ruby and Sapphire are your faves. Yeah, I hear a lot of people like those. You know what's funny? The only the third entry in each gen, the only one that I've played is yellow. And I did try Emerald. I didn't play Ruby and Sapphire, but I tried Emerald for like a few hours in another country. Somebody had it and I was playing it. I was like, huh. I think I had Trico. Trico, I'm pretty sure is in Emerald. I got a Trico and I made it to like, I don't know even know if I did the first gym. I have to pick that up again someday. But yeah, it's pretty standard Pokemon games. I don't think there was anything that maybe go, oh, I don't know if I like this one. I think it was, I don't know. I was enjoying it for the little bit of time that I played it, but I just never picked it up again. I need to. I'm gonna do a playthrough of. I could probably add that to my list of franchise binge titles one day. Because one day on the stream, I'm gonna start doing like entire franchises in a row. Just really punish yourself, No, I'm pretty sure I'll have fun. I don't get burned out easily, but we'll see. I don't know yet. I've done it off stream once for Witcher. I played all three Witchers back to back, and I didn't have a problem with it. So maybe I can do that with other franchises too. And I'll probably do Witcher again too, because I really enjoyed that series. You'll probably see that. But anyways, oh, do all the Dragon Quest back to back? I can do it. Black White 2 and Sun Moon Ultra, yeah, are the only ones I didn't play. I forgot about Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. I've been playing Unite again. It's got me wanting to play a normal Pokemon game. JK, that's a terrible idea. I'll do it. I'll do it. Okay. You never know. Part of the reason, especially with RPGs, is all of you game devs out there, okay, at least two of you anyway. You've inspired me to try my hand at it. But the only thing is, as far as I know I want to do a beat 'em up. I want to do an adventure game. I want to do an action adventure game, but I also want to do an RPG. Now I've already said before that I only played a handful of RPGs, so part of the reason why I want to do this franchise endurance mode thing is to get ideas for said RPG. I got some obscure ones, and I got some obscure RPGs and some well-known RPGs as well. I've already got a lot of the Dragon Quests already, realness, so it's not out of the question that I can at least attempt it. I don't know if I'll finish it. I don't know if I'll finish any of these because I gotta see. When Xeno Saga Episode 1 first came out, I couldn't finish it, and I did get burned out in well, not burned out, but I didn't get into Final Fantasy 13. But I feel like I can do it now. But we will attempt it. And let's see, this month, maybe later this month, I don't know. I might start rotating some gameplay into the streams finally, other than art, because you will expect in a variety of arts and games. Okay, that's what I have in my little stream there, my little stream about section, I guess. I did start off as a variety streamer, but I was very lackadaisy about it. Uh, but I think I'm gonna start doing it. I'll probably start with Minecraft, but eventually, hopefully sometime before October, I'm gonna start um franchise number one, and it's already been decided. It's going to be Shadow Hearts. This will be the first one, as far as RPGs are concerned. Anyway, Shadow Hearts will be the first. If you're making an RPG, you need to play some Dragon Quest. I don't know about all of them, but you definitely need to play Dragon Quest 1. You got it. I will do it. I already have an idea for like an action adventure game, like uh I don't know what you would classify Ocarina or Ocarina of Time. I'm still unsure of how to pronounce that. Never even seen an ocarina in real life, okay? I've seen recorders, I've heard recorders, but ocarinas, I don't know. It's not something you see in school all the time. I'm sure some school has it, but not mine. But recorders, yeah, I've seen those, and recorders are in Zelda. Anyway, whatever you classify Ocarina as, or Majora's Mask, I have an idea for that. Are you including Koldelka in the Shadow Heart series? Gotta go work. I'll catch you later. All right, 99. I'll catch you later. Koldelka, you say? I almost tried to write it with my stylus on paper again. I'm gonna write that down. It ain't gonna be like that. I have a unique idea for my Ocarina of Time inspired game. Yeah, I don't want to do rip. I'm not interested in doing rip-offs. Like I'll say that this was inspired by whatever, if I do something that is inspired by something, but it ain't gonna be a rip-off. I am past that. Okay, Koldelka? Okay. Do you know what system is on? If I can get it, I'll get it and add it. Because that'll be the first franchise by repeated requests. That will be the first one. I was gonna do Legend of Zelda first and play all those, but Shadow Hearts has won the suggestion, and we're going to go with that. I don't know why I'm coloring this in with the brown gold. As you can see, it's getting a little orange there, but you can't really see that from back here. As you can see, oh, you kind of can. I'll fix that at some point. There's still some little touch-ups here and there that I got to do. It's on PS1, good. If I don't have it already, because I have an extensive PS1 library, I will definitely get it. The last one I remember getting was what was it? Azure Dreams, I think. I've never even heard of that one, but I got it. I was like, oh, RPG, huh? Okay, I guess I'll get it. But I have a lot of RPGs for PS1. If I don't, like I said, if I don't got it already, I'm going to get it probably today. Probably right after I end the stream, I'm gonna check and see if I got it. But yeah, if it's part of the Shadow Hearts franchise, I'll play it. Oh, that game is on my list too. Yeah, it looks cutesy. I don't know if I. Oh, you mean Azure Dreams? Yeah, yeah. When I saw a picture of it, I was like, huh, this looks interesting. So I got it. And whatever other RPGs I can find for PS1, because I'm pretty sure I got most of the 2D console RPGs already. So I mainly look for stuff that to fill out my PS1, PS2, and whatever can work on PS3 library. And actually I have my physical PS3 returned to me. I gave it to a family member, but I got it back. They won't be needing it anymore. So I have my physical PS3, so getting physical copies of things that don't work on my setup here on emulator is not out of the question. If I really want to play it, I'll find a way to set it up on my PS3. PS1 era JRPGs are weird, man. Weird in what way? Are they weird in the sense that they all look like tactics games? Because sometimes I get that vibe for a lot of them, even though I've never even played a tactics game, so I don't even know what I'm talking about. But I can look and see that, oh, that looks like tactics, and then people call PS1 part of the RPG Golden Age, but they really just mean Final Fantasy. I don't know why they say Golden Age. It would be Genesis and Super Nintendo that would be the Golden Age if you really look at it. And you're talking to someone who only played or beat 6 of these JRPGs. But even I know that Super Nintendo and Genesis is where all of the good RPGs have come from, and maybe even Nintendo, right? More than the Nintendo side. Genesis has RPGs too, but it's more like uh what do you say? I would say they have probably had a bigger Western RPG library than regular RPG. But I'm only speaking from someone who grew up in the U.S. I don't know. It could be they could have plenty of JRPGs on from Japan. That's only in Japan. And we're going to get into some Western RPGs too. Believe you me, I like all RPGs. I don't really I'm not like a stand for JRPGs. I like RPGs as a whole. My first RPG was a Western RPG. PS1 has higher highs than SNES, but SNES is way more consistent. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Like PS1 is known for having really classic and popular titles, right? But everyone always says, everyone always points to Chrono Trigger or Final Fantasy 3 or Earthbound, all the SNES titles. So that's why I always say that maybe SNES should take the Golden Age title over PS1. I know it's like there's like a small gap in between those because, like I said, Chrono Trigger was supposed to be Final Fantasy 7, but then they made that its own thing. Or Final Fantasy 7 was going to be 2D, but instead they said, okay, let's take that to 3D and then make Chrono Trigger instead. What was your first RPG? My first RPG was Buck Rogers Countdown to Doomsday for the Sega Genesis Entertainment System. uh, it's one of my favorites too. It's science fiction, so that's a plus in my books. You can make your entire party. It goes off of D20 rules because it is based off of the D20 rules from Dungeons and Dragons. It's based off of the tabletop gold box series Buck Rogers uh tabletop RPG. It follows that world. It doesn't follow the TV show. That's a completely different thing. The Gold Box series is more in depth. It's more like a more serious, harder sci-fi than your your little robots, whatever the heck it's called, something. Okay, bitty bitty bitty, yeah, that thing. It's not like that at all. It's more hard sci-fi esque with genetic modifications and uh, terrorism and things like that. It's actually a good. I know you laugh, but it's actually a good RPG. Unless you've played it and you don't like it, then I can't help that. But I enjoyed it. You make your own party up to 6 characters. You can pick their skills and you level them up and you go around the galaxy and try to stop the Russo American Mercantile, which is kind of like a quasi military corporation type entity that wants to sterilize Earth with some kind of doomsday weapon so that way they can basically start over on it and make money off of it basically. And apparently they made a bunch of races, different races over the years that to basically use as slaves, I guess, and they're all genetically modified to work on different planets and they have different purposes and things like that. And of course, you know the story of Buck Rogers. Well, maybe you don't know the story of Buck Rogers, but he's a modern day fighter pilot that gets frozen or he gets put in stasis in some space mission that went wrong. And he wakes up in the 25th century and becomes basically takes over the Neo organization, which I don't remember what that stands for. But he's like one of the heroes in that. He basically spearheads all the attacks against RAM, which is the Russo American Mercantile. The DOS version has way more content in it. I played the Genesis version. It's a very streamlined. They took some races out. They took some skills out. They took some. They took a lot of things out. Basically, this sounds crazy ahead of its time for a game from 1990. Yeah, it is basically. It was made during the time when it's made by Electronic Arts back when they were good, when they were like the good guys before they became what they are, before they became EA. Back when they were Electronic Arts, and you see the flipping of the letters that come up on a silent screen. Um, but yeah, when they had Madden 1 before it was EA Sports, just John Madden football. But yes, it's a very fun game. That's how I got into RPGs. When the art part was true, yeah. And it has a sequel in the DOS version of the game where you can actually carry over your team and basically pick up right where you left off and continue on doing a whole other adventure. It was called Matrix Cube. Countdown to Doomsday is the first one. Matrix Cube is the second one. I don't know anything about Matrix Cube. It has to be played on DOSBox, but maybe one day I'll play the DOSBox version of Doomsday and um, Matrix Cube. It's very little. It's somewhat different. There's a little differences here and there, but I'm pretty sure that my knowledge of the Sega Genesis version would help me somewhat in Countdown to Doomsday, because there's more skills, there's more weapons, and you don't know what you need. Basically, you make your team, and whatever your team can do, that's what you can cover. Sometimes you might need in a situation something that you didn't plan for, and you got to roll with that. Your team can die, and your teammates can die, and you basically have to deal with that too. But it's a very interesting game. You might have just sold me on this game. Yeah, it's a very fun game. In fact, they actually made novels in the Gold Box Buck Rogers series. I was going to try to get them off of Amazon because they're basically like a couple of dollars for like a bunch of books. Only problem is they're from a third party seller and they're used, so I want to make sure I don't get any surprises in between the pages, if you know what I mean. But yeah, it's a very very interesting version of Buck Rogers' story. Very serious, different, definitely choices. It's like a very early version of Mass Effect, but without the Reapers and all that. It even has a little screen on the Genesis version anyway. It has a little screen where you can travel to other planets and asteroids and space bases and whatnot, and you get into space fights and all kinds of stuff. And there's even gravity, like it even simulates gravity in space a little bit, like gravitational pulls of planets and things like that. None of that stuff is gonna matter. It's just a little like just basically just flavor topping or whatever. But you can see when you're near a planet that you'll slowly get pulled into its gravitational field. People getting bucked with Buck Rogers books. Yeah, Buck Rogers books. Yeah, it's I didn't even know about the books. I found that out recently. I was looking up. I was like, man, is there anything about this? Like, is there anything more? Like, is there anything that did this ever become something? And that's how I found out about the sequel and everything. Yeah, it's yeah, it was very very interesting, very interesting. And there's way more things in the original version, the DOS version, which one day I'm gonna play, which I've already said, of course. But yeah, I'm just gonna reiterate, because when you look at it, it says, it even says like Gold Box series. I'm like, what is the Gold Box series? And that's how I found out about all the books and the sequel and all that stuff. And I'm like, wow, I didn't know about any of this. I played this in when I was still in high school. Not sorry, not high school, elementary school, and that was about around the same time that I discovered Dune. Because one of my friends on in the street that I used to live on, they had Dune and they had Buck Rogers, the Sega Genesis games, and that's how I discovered RPGs and of course RTS strategies with Dune, made by Westwood before they made Command and Conquer. Of course, by the time I played it, I think the first Command and Conquer was already out by a year. But this game came out like 1993. It was another um, Genesis port of a DOS game. Way more. I never played Doom 2, but I played the Genesis version of Doom 2, which is the Battle of the Arrakis. I don't know to this day if it's the same or not. I've never seen Doom 2 itself. I played Doom 1 though. It's more of it follows the movie more, but it's more of a resource management type deal than a RTS. I've always heard that Doom game was a masterpiece. Yeah, Doom 1, or just Doom, which was also on Sega CD. It really is good. You have to mine this. You mine the spice. You're the Atreides, of course. You're Paul. You play as Paul. You can go to different sietches. You make friends with you try to ally with the Fremen, Harkonnen, or somewhere on the map, screwing with you. Messing up. You're trying to attack your little installations. You put installations in specific areas. You make relations with the Fremen. You mine the spice, you get harvesters, you get ornithopters, travel, and but it more or less follows the story of the movie more than the book, just more than the movie. Even has some of the characters look like the movie characters. At least Paul and Jessica does. Not the Duke or Duncan. They all have look some weird Babylon 5-ish Jodorowsky. I think that's how you pronounce his name. S type things because at one point he had his hands in Dune. He was gonna make his own version of Dune. It never came to pass, but his influence on the series and his attempt trying to make it kind of spilled over to other Dune works. It follows the original movie, you mean, right? Yeah, it follows the original movie, the 1984 movie. Somewhat, it's kind of loosely based on it. It is not really about the books, but basically, you mine the spice. The every time like the a certain amount of days pass, the emperor will ask for an amount of spice. You give it to him, and that amount increases every time he asks for it because he's trying to kill you, and that's kind of his way of killing you. I guess you have to basically beat the game before his taxes become so absorbent that you can't pay him, and then he'll just come and attack you with the Harkonnen. But yeah, you basically maintain the House Atreides. It doesn't get destroyed like it does in the movie. You maintain the house and basically try to stop the Fremen. Fremen have their own capital somewhere on the planet, and you basically work towards defeating them in their cities. But yeah, it's a very interesting game. It's a very light. It's not like a your because RTSs didn't really exist. I think Civilization was probably a really early RTS. It's more like that, I guess. Even though I never really played a Civilization, I would say it's probably closer to that than what the genre became later with Westwood and Command and Conquer. Because I think Westwood made the first game too, but I'm not really sure about that. But by Doom 2, it was a full on RTS. You pick your three houses. They all have their own different quirks and abilities and whatnot, and you build your base up. And basically, just it's more straightforward. It's not like Doom 1 at all. Doom 1's not like that. It's basically Doom 2, and then Doom 2000, and then Emperor Battle for Doom, and then by that time, Command and Conquer was in full swing with all theirs. I think they took the things from Doom, put it in Command and Conquer, improved upon it, and then kept improving upon those concepts in Command and Conquer until EA bought Westwood, and they basically just shut down all the Dune stuff and went on with Command and Conquer, and then eventually they just shut down Westwood. They killed Westwood. That was one of their first companies they killed was Westwood. They acquired and then killed it. That whole thing. They were doing that way back in early 2000s. I think that was their first one. I think that was when they first became what they are today, which is not great, not well received. But ever since they did that, I was not a fan of EA from that moment when they killed Westwood. That's where my ire for EA begins. Because I was really because while I did like Command and Conquer, I liked Doom more, and they killed it. I always wondered what happened to Command and Conquer. Yeah, they ran it into the ground basically, and now we just don't have it anymore. Your RTS needs are covered by was it 4X RTS or something like that? Is that what the genre is now with like things like Frostpunk? They have Dune again, but now it's by Funcom, which is another kind of iffy company. I don't know, and that's another one. They were always like that, but at one point I did like them still. I'm not so sure about that now, but because they made one of my favorite MMOs, which is Anarchy Online, but it was broken on launch, and some of that stuff that was broken since 2001 is still broken. It's kind of abandoned at this point, but it's still live. You can still pay for it and play it. But there have been things that have been broken for decades. I figured it died off because PC gaming kind of died for a while. No, it died because of EA. Plain and simple, it died because of EA. I don't have all the detail. I might have all the details accurate, but basically, it died because of EA. EA bought Westwood and destroyed the company, and then I think right after that they only made what I think they made Command and Conquer 3 and 4, and then Red Alert 3, and then after that it was done. It was done after that. That was only like a couple of years after they killed Westwood. So my favorite Command and Conquer after that was Generals. Command and Conquer Generals is one of my favorite RTSs. I do like that game. So EA was still like teetering a little bit. Like man, yeah, I hate that they killed Westwood, but they did make Generals. So and Generals is one of my favorites. I have 3 and 4 and all. Actually I have them all. Like I bought all the Command and Conquers for like $20, like the entirety of the titles. And but I haven't played all of them yet. I started playing Red Alert. One of my friends had Red Alert, which was really fun. And you hear some of the soundtracks sometimes on the stream. Um, but I think my favorite Command and Conquer was Generals. Tiberian Sun. Oh yeah, I just didn't play Tiberian Sun. Yeah, a long time ago I saw that was out, and I wanted to play it, but I never did. I never did play it, unfortunately. I didn't play Red Alert 2. Like there's a lot of them I didn't play, but the ones I did play I really enjoyed. I tried 3, but I didn't really play it enough to get into it. Like I probably played like one skirmish match, and I didn't know what it was very different from the other Command and Conquers. Um but one day I got to go back and try to figure it out. It was very different though. It was like it almost felt like a departure, but I don't know. It had the cheesy live action cutscenes. Oh yeah. Yeah, Tim Curry was he was like the at least in Command and Conquer 3, because I did play that a little bit. I kind of liked how they did some of the scripted events in Command and Conquer 3. It was very dynamic. It was very action packed. Like people would just come and attack you at these weird times, and it's like it was all scripted, like to make it look cool. It was all right, but yeah, Tim Curry really hammed up the acting in that game, and it made it it was very funny. He's like on the brink of insanity. It was like peak Tim Curry, but yeah, he's in there. Basically all those I liked all the live action cutscenes, and they had those in Dune as well. At least starting in Dune 2000 up into Emperor, which was the next one, they started using actors. Like they had John Rice or John yeah John Rhys Davies. I think that's how you say his middle name, John Rhys Davies. He's one of the guys. They had Michael Dorn as the Atreides Duke in Emperor Battle for Doom, who played Worf in Star Trek. Um, they had yeah, they had lots of actors. They were getting a lot. You recognize a lot of like 80s and 90s actors or actors of the time, the early 2000s. I think they had the lady. They either had the lady who played Sindel or Priest from the Spawn movie. I get them two mixed up because they kind of like if you don't see them for a while, they kind of look like the same person, but it's not. They're actually two different people. They had one of them in the. I forget which one though. I'm sorry to that person. They always look alike to me, but they want the way the one of them was in Emperor Battle for Doom. I just don't remember which one. Some of those people are they still do acting stuff. It's just if you didn't play those games, you wouldn't know if they were in the games or not. It's very I'm using the lipstick color, and because I keep wanting to fix that, but it's always the wrong color. I'm sorry. Let's see. Yeah, but yeah, that's I haven't really been I haven't played a lot of Command and Conquer, but I do like it overall. But I really vibe with Generals. Generals is definitely my favorite Command and Conquer, and it has a DLC where it adds like you can pick your side, whatever side it is. It's like China, basically China, USA, and like a terrorist organization, and it's the most stereotypical things. that you would expect from any of those sides, but they have a it has a very interesting dynamic as far as what each side can do, and then on top of that, when you pick, I think the DLC or the expansion pack back then anyway adds more generals to each side. You can pick your side, then you can pick the general for your side, which adds abilities based off of what that general is. So like, I play with the terrorists. That's like my favorite thing because um, what you can do is you can take a sniper and you can shoot the driver of a unit if it's a vehicle, and then you can send a guy in and take over that vehicle, and then you'll have that vehicle's ability. So all you really have to do is and you have your standard like take your guy or you take a saboteur or whatever and take over a building and then just produce their units. So I would just do that instead of actually picking those sides as a terrorist. But what I would do is if I see a construction vehicle, which is basically the vehicle that makes the main base that picks that builds all of the other buildings of that side, I would shoot the driver of a construction vehicle and just take it over, and then I would just have that entire side's abilities, minus the general. You don't get that, but you get all the other standard stuff if you can build their construction yard. I'm not sure if this. I think we can. Well, it's almost. I know it's a bit of a short stream, and I kind of did very little here. It was very little to do in the shadow. I wanted to make sure before I move on to the light, but I'm going to stop it here. Tomorrow we're going to go into and start putting in more light sources. Okay. Let's see if we can. Oh, I already saved it. All right. Thank you for coming out. It was a very short stream. Um, very minor progress, but we will be back tomorrow, and we will continue proper finishing this. Very close to the end. Still have some things to do in the background, but basically, yeah, probably tomorrow or Wednesday we'll be done with this, and then I'm gonna have to. I gotta see if I'm able to do the three circle back to the 3D mesh. If not, we'll do another digital art piece until I can get the mesh ready for stream, and then we'll just go and do that. Okay. Thank you all for coming out here. I appreciate y'all being here or watching the vibe or watching the archive playlist on YouTube. If you are around for next stream, I will see you then. All right. Until then, take care. Have a great day. All right.